Okay, we are on 5.6 for today, and this section is called Special Products because it's a situations where we can multiply these products differently and make possibly a little bit easier than breaking them up and foiling them and I don't know, we'll just go through them. So the first one here, number 6 in our book, is that way. That's what's special about it. We can FOIL it. All right, and FOIL is the same thing as just multiplying it the logical way. So that's what FOIL is all about in our first example. Got, looks like 2 of them here. So FOIL, that's it. 3 times 2 is 6. Y times y is y squared. Outside is 3y times 7, which is positive 21y. Inside is negative 10y. And last will be negative 5 times 7, which is negative 35. Combine our middle terms, we end up with 6y squared plus 11y minus the 35. And that's it. Here's number 11. And what about it? FOIL. 2 binomials we have to multiply. That's what it's saying to do. Y squared times 6y is 6y to the third. Plus y squared times positive 4 is positive 4y squared. That's our outside. Keep my line there. Inside is positive 42y. 7 times 6y is 42y. Last is 7 times 4, which is 28. That's this one here. And that's our answer in this case because my 2 middle terms aren't alike. Not alike. Therefore, this is our final answer. In descending order too, by the way. All right, next problem. Here's a binomial squared. And what they're telling us is there is a special way we can multiply this binomial square, and we can only do it when the binomial is squared. That's the only time we can do this. I cannot do it when it is any other exponent. So in other words, let's see, if I were to FOIL this regularly, my answer would be taking the x plus 7 and writing it out twice, which I encourage you to do actually at this level of our math career, math education. Here we can FOIL it then, so I end up with x squared. Outside is plus 7x. Inside is plus 7x. And last is the plus 49. When I combine my middle term, I end up with the x squared plus 14x plus 49. Okay, that's from breaking it apart to 2 of them and FOILing. But I can also do it this way, and it explains it in the book as well. Here's my binomial, this x plus 7. I'm going to refer to the x as the first term and the 7 as the last term. So I got first and last. All right. So when I go to do this, utilize the special products on this, I can take the x and square it. I can take the 7 and square it. That would be 49. I'll put it over here because I know I'm going to end up looking like this here, trinomial. And then the middle term comes from multiplying 2 times positive 7, I'm going to include the plus sign here, times the x. Multiply these three terms. So 2 times 7 times x is positive 14x. And that's what's special. Put the plus sign here. So that's what's special about binomial squared. I can multiply it in that way. I don't have to separate it, then FOIL it. Okay, so quickly, if I do another one here, I'll make something up like y minus 2. Okay, if it's this way and it's squared, then I can square the first term, square the last term. Now notice that's negative 2 squared, so it's going to be positive 4. And my middle term is going to be 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4, times y, which is negative 4y. And that's my answer to this in this example here. All right, let's see what else we got. That was number 20. And then how about another one like number 22? Number 22. 7x minus 3, and I'll square it. All right, so I'm going to take this first term now and square it. So that's going to be what? 49x squared. I'm going to take the last term, that negative 3, and square it, and that's going to be 9. Positive. And my middle term, therefore, is going to be 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6, times 7x, which is negative 42x. And there is our solution. Problem, answer. I think I've got one more in here. Yes, let's try number 30. Let's do number 30 here, which states 5b minus 4, and we'll square it. Square it. Take the first term, square it. That's going to give me 25b squared. I'm going to do the middle term. I don't have to do the last term. I can do the middle term. Oh, how about 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 5b is negative 40b. Then I'll square this last term of negative 4 squared is positive 16. So you'll notice when you have a binomial squared, our last term here is always positive. So you may want to make a note of that. All right, next problem. Here is another special products problem. And you'll notice in this I'm using two terms. I'm using the b, ab, and I'm using 3. Those are the two terms. And then when I take the sum of the two terms and the difference of the two terms, here's the sum and the difference of the same two terms, I end up with what is the problem. And when I multiply this, it has a special look to it. And the look is, well, let's FOIL it. B times b is b squared. B times negative 3 is negative 3b. Negative 3b. Inside is 3 times b, which is positive 3b. And last is 3 times negative 3, which is negative 9. When I combine my middle terms in this special product, what happens? This ends up equaling 0. So my solution is b squared minus 9 is my final simplification. Okay, fair enough. And that's the look that this expression has. I don't have a middle term. They cancel each other out. Okay, so when we'll talk about this more in chapter 6 when we're factoring, meaning this is going to be the problem, and then our answer is going to be back up to here, what that original expression was. If you notice when you're doing problems that you have the sum and the difference of the same two terms, well, that falls under the special product section, and therefore an easy way of doing this is taking the first term b and squaring it, taking the second term 3 and squaring that, and it's always a minus sign in between when it's the sum and the difference of the same two terms. So this ends up being b squared minus 3 squared, which is 9. And you have a match here. They're the same, you get the same answer. Okay. All right. And is there another one here? That was number 40. And how about 46? Let's try 46 here. Whoop, whoop. 46. Okay, here it is. So I got the sum and difference of the same two terms. So I can take this a squared, I can write it out too, take your time so you fully understand it. I'm taking the a square and then I'm going to square it. First term squared, then I'm going to do the last term squared, which is 6 to the second power, squaring that. And it's always minus. So to further along this is going to be a to the 4th minus 36. And that's the factorization, or that's the multiplication of the two terms that we started with, a squared and 6. Okay, another one. 2x squared, first term squared. I'll write it out. Second term squared, that's a y. Always separated by a minus sign. This ends up being 4x squared minus y squared. And remember, very important, you don't have to mess with all these kind of special product rules at this point in time. You can just FOIL them. All the special products so far that we've had. There were two binomials. Just FOIL it. Don't worry about this part here. Take the special out of special and do what you know how to do best. All right, here's one more on problem 66, just under the mixed practice section. So whatever your pleasure is to solve this. Since we're in special products, it'll be the first term squared, 4a squared, plus the middle term, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 4 is 16a, positive of course, and then the last term is going to be the 2 squared. I'll write up like this. Alright, then you simplify it whatever you can do here. So we got 16a squared plus the 16a plus 4. And again, just to reiterate, if you don't want to mess with all that, you can just take it apart by the definition of squaring a binomial, and then put the FOIL to it. Same answer. That's the most important thing. Okay, couple more ideas here. Let me set this up. Okay, so here is a challenging problem, if you will. We have to find the area shaded in red of this rectangle. Just the red area is what we have to find. So the way you go about doing this is determine what is the area of the entire rectangle. The area of the entire rectangle is the length times the width. So that would be what? 5x minus 3 times 3x plus 4. Okay, so we will find the area of the entire rectangle by foiling this. So here I've got 15x squared. Outside is plus 20x. Inside is negative 9x. And last is negative 12. Fair enough. Combine my middle terms here, I end up with 15x squared plus 20 minus 9 is 11x minus 12. Alright, so that's the area of the entire rectangle. However, we have two bare spots or empty spots that aren't red. So what we have to do with these is we've got to find the area of these individually and then subtract them from the rest of the area of the entire rectangle. So the area of this square here is x times x, which is x squared. And the area of this rectangle is x squared. So I'm going to have this, the area entirely, and then I'm going to subtract 2x squared. Okay, or individually you could say I'm going to subtract minus x squared minus x squared. But either way you're going to come up with minus 2x squared. And then you can simplify this now to be 15x squared minus 2x squared is 13x squared. And everything else stays the same. Okay, and that's how you would do something like this. Okay, that is it for today. I will see you in class.